Hello my fellow book addicts, Megan here, and time for another book review. Today, I'm going to be talking about Talon by Julie Kagawa, and this is book 1 in the Talon series. So, I've been looking forward to this book pretty much all of 2014. Throughout the whole year of 2014, I have been looking forward to this book's release date, and I was not disappointed in the slightest. But before I get into the book's content, just look at that cover. Look at that cover. It's so shiny. Shiny, shiny, shiny. And the scales are actually like textured, and it feels really, really, really awesome. And then, I don't really pay much attention to what's under like the dust jackets and whatnot, but I thought this was really, really cool. This is what's under the dust flap, and oh my god, it is awesome. It also has that on the like actual inside of the book, and just oh my god, so cool. So, for a little synopsis / backstory, in this book, dragons live among humanity. The only reason why the general public does not know this is because dragons have mastered the art of shapeshifting. They can take on human form, and they use that to blend into human society and get their own people everywhere they need to be. The dragons have formed this organization called Talon. Hey, that's the title of the book! And basically they did that to try to ensure their race's survival. Because, you know, there are these dragon hunters from a organization called St. George who have made it their life mission to hunt down and basically eradicate all of the dragons. And this feud between the two groups have been going on for a long time. So, you know, the fact that the dragons can take on human form now makes St. George's job a little different, but over the years they have mastered the art of how to, you know, tell where the dragons are. So we have a few main characters in this book. There are Ember and her brother Dante, and they are a really unique pair. Dragons can usually only lay one egg at a time, so the fact that they are basically twins is a huge deal. It's like practically unheard of. Actually, I think it's totally unheard of among the dragon race. Then there is Garrett, who is a member of St. George. Dragons killed his family when he was a little kid, and St. George found him, took him in, and basically raised him to be a dragon hunter. And he's pretty good at what he does. Then there's another big character who I will go into later. So, basically, how dragon children are raised. They're hatched by Talon and then brought up, you know, learning about human society and how to blend in and be good little dragons. And while they are being taught, some higher-ups are observing them and trying to figure out which role in Talon they are most suited for. Because unlike, you know, human people, dragons basically plan out their own lives for them. You know, Ember and Dante aren't going to have any choice in what they are going to be doing for the rest of their lives. Talon has some humans working for them, and once their hatchlings reach a certain age, Dante and Ember's age, they send them off to live with this group of humans to basically assimilate them into human society. You know, get them to actually practice all that they have been taught over the years. Ember is extremely happy to be out of that compound because she's a very free spirit, and they gotta be careful because if they don't pass their guardians, like little tests and expectations, they will be sent back to Talon for re-education, and that's not something they want. So Ember and Dante are trying to deal with all that. They manage to integrate themselves into this little group of humans their age and are basically learning to be human. So this book is kind of divided up into a few parts. For like the first half of the book, we're switching between Ember and Garrett's point of view. So there's this rogue dragon, and rogues are basically dragons that kind of break away from Talon because they don't like all the rules and stuff that they are imposing. Usually rogues are hunted down and dragged back for re-education. But, there's some that, manage to stay out of the Talon's clutches for a while. One rogue is Riley, or at least that's what he refers to himself when he's, among humans. His real name is Colbert. And, yeah, he's in the area that Ember and Dante are in, and he catches a big interest in Ember. He, along with a lot of other rogues, try and talk other dragons into leaving Talon. And Talon doesn't like that, because that supposedly, breaches security and puts them all at much higher risk. So, Riley, pops up quite a bit for the first part of the book, but he doesn't play like a huge role until the second part. So, St. George, they find out that there is a dragon sleeper in this one town, and it's a hatchling, and they also caught wind that it is a female. And if they can take out this sleeper, that would be a huge blow to Talon, because one less dragon in the world, and even better, one less female dragon in the world, meaning less eggs that will be produced down the line, meaning it could be a huge blow to the dragon race as a whole to take out one of their young dragons. So, Garrett and then another member of St. George are sent to the town Ember and Dante are in to try and hunt down this sleeper. And they single out, Ember's little group of friends right away, but they don't know who it is, so they gotta try and narrow it down. They're very thrown off by Ember, because she has a brother, and they look alike enough to be siblings, so they're confused about this. So yeah, the whole book, they're basically trying to prove if Ember is the sleeper or not, and if she's the sleeper, they're supposed to take her out. And that's all I really will say for the synopsis. All in all, I thought this book was awesome. I love books about dragons, and like I said, I was greatly looking forward to this one, and did not disappoint me in the slightest, and I cannot wait for the sequel to come out. So with that in mind, I'm going to be going into my more spoilery bit now, so if you don't want spoilers, I suggest you click away now. So, Dante and Ember are going through training while they are, trying to blend in human society, and Ember does not like her trainer at all. Her and Dante are slowly drifting apart during this training. They used to be, super close, and now Ember's not liking what Dante is becoming. He is following Talon's rules to the T, and she is chafing under these rules greatly, and even more so the more she talks to Riley, and who gets a point of view in the second half of the book, which is really cool. So Riley reveals all sorts of stuff about Talon that Ember had no idea about. Talon's motives and actions aren't exactly the most innocent. Riley reveals, all sorts of bad things that happen to hatchlings that don't assimilate well, or those who break the rules, and they reveal that Talon isn't hesitant to sacrifice one of their own for the greater good. So he got out, and since then he has tried to get more and more dragons out. And humans out, because some humans don't want to be serving Talon either. Riley has a good reason for doing what he's doing, and he's trying to get Ember out of Talon. And she's starting to really see his point of things. And meanwhile, for all this, she is growing closer and closer to Garrett, and they're both starting to feel warm, fuzzy feelings for each other. And it makes matters even worse when Garrett actually finds out that Ember is the sleeper that they are after. But conveniently, Ember has chosen to, leave with Riley at this point because she has found out what Talon was going to be assigning her to do for the rest of her life. She was going to be assigned to be a Viper, which she finds out is actually more or less an assassin than, a hunter. She would have to, kill rogues and potentially even hatchlings and other dragons. She wouldn't care about killing members of St. George, because they kill her kind all the time. But the idea of having to take down other dragons like her, just because, they didn't agree with Talon's ways, she's not good with that. She's not cool with that at all. And she wants out immediately after she finds this out, and she tries to get Dante to come with her. Unfortunately, Dante, betrays her Talon has their grip too tight on him. And yeah, he betrays her, which I saw coming a mile off, honestly, but still it was painful to read that because they were so close before. And apparently Garrett fell so in love with Ember that he turned on St. George. The punishment to the extreme he went is basically death, or at least very likely going to be death. And Ember feels horrible about that because he kind of saved her life. I'm not going to go into details about that, but she's going to want to bust him out. So we end the book really with Garrett being dragged off by St. George and Riley and Ember trying to follow them. So I'm guessing there's going to be a really awesome jailbreak escape in the next book, and things are going to be really awesome. I absolutely love this book. I love how the dragon society is set up. I like how it's set up. I thought it was really well set up, and there's nothing about this book that I did not like. It was just really well done, and it was awesome. And this honestly might be one of my favorite books I've read this year. Oh my god, the wait was worth it, and I can't wait to read the second one. So yeah, that's it for this book review, and I hope to see you guys next time. Keep on reading, my fellow book addicts. Keep on reading.